Hello and welcome. Today we are going to do a heart opening flow. This is really good if you have any tension in your shoulders or in your back, and if you just need to release anything that you've been harboring in your heart. We're going to do a lot of poses that will help open that up and release anything that you need to. So we're going to start in child's pose. So we're going to move to the back of our mat. Our big toes will be kissing, and our knees can be together or apart. I like to have them slightly apart. And if this is really tight on the back of your legs, feel free to grab some folded blankets and place it underneath your legs to lift your hips up a little bit. We're gonna put our bottom on our heels, and we're gonna take our arms and extend them nice and long on the mat in front of us, resting our forehead towards the ground. If you wanna put a little pillow underneath your forehead, feel free to do so. So from here, we're going to take a couple deep breaths in through our nose and exhaling out through our mouth. So keep taking those long, deep breaths. And with each exhale, seeing if you can release a little bit deeper into this pose, relaxing your body down onto the mat. And a little variation, if you'd like, is to do a tricep stretch. So you can place your palms together, fingertips touching, and we'll bend the elbows, resting your hands on the back of your head or closer towards the back of your neck. Again, taking those deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Awesome. Let's go ahead and extend our arms nice and long. We're going to lift our upper body up, and we're going to come into a camel variation. So if you want to take it a little bit more gentle today, you can keep your bottom on your heels or on that folded up blanket. And we'll place our hands right behind us, so fingertips pointed towards the front of the mat. We'll lean back a little bit, resting our hands on the mat, and then we'll gently lift our heart up towards the sky, and at the same time, gently releasing our head back. And again, taking those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And to come out, we'll gently lift our head and come up. Now, if you want, you can stay in that variation, or if you want to get a little deeper stretch, you can lift up off of your heels, and you can gently reach one hand back for an ankle, and then the other one. So again, breathing in and out. And whenever you're ready, we'll lift one arm and then the other, slowly coming back up. Great job. So from here, we're going to take our hands and we're going to crawl them towards the front of the mat. Now, as you do this, you're going to lift your hips up and drop your shoulders down. We're coming into a puppy pose. Fingers go all the way towards the front of the mat, dropping the shoulders, lifting the hips up, getting a nice shoulder stretch here. And you can rest your forehead on the ground. And I love the name of this pose because our family dog definitely does do this pose, so it is very accurately named. So again, with each exhale, seeing if you can release a little bit deeper into this pose, getting a deeper shoulder stretch. Great job. Go ahead and lift your head up. You're gonna walk your hands in a little bit closer, coming into a tabletop position, and go ahead and just move around a little bit, stretching out your whole body and all those joints and sockets. I love doing this in the morning. I know you look a little bit silly, but who cares? All right. So once we're here, our hands are firmly planted on the ground, fingertips are spread out nice and wide. We're going to drop our hips down, rolling down onto our belly. Our arms are going to be right underneath our shoulders, and we're going to come into a baby cobra pose. So you want to make sure that your elbows are not out, but reeled in close to your body. Again, hands are right underneath the shoulders. And we're slowly going to lift up our abdomen, our heart, our shoulders, and lastly our head. Take an inhale and exhale, roll down. Belly, heart, shoulders, forehead. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale down. Now you can stay here in this baby cobra, or if you want to go and extend all the way up, go ahead and inhale your belly, your heart, your shoulders, extending the arms nice and long, and exhaling down. And a couple more times. Big inhale up. And down. And last one. Big inhale. And exhale down. Great job. So from here, we're going to go into a bow pose. We're going to keep our head down for the moment. We're going to start to bend our knees so our heels are reaching towards our glutes. And then one at a time, we're going to reach our hands back, holding onto our ankles. And then from here, that same inhale, exhale, flowing pose with your chest, your heart, your shoulders. We're going to do the same, but at the same time, we're going to keep holding onto our ankles, and that will lift our legs up as well. Go ahead and lift up the heart, the shoulders, the head, and bring in those legs up with you. And again, you can point your toes or you can flex them, whichever one feels good. And you can stay here for a breath, or you can go ahead and lower back down, bringing those heels with you onto your glutes. And inhale, lift up, heart, shoulders, head. And exhale down. And one more time, the biggest bow yet. Inhale, lift, 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 and down. Great job. Go ahead and release your legs one at a time. And we're going to place our hands back underneath our shoulders, lifting up and pushing back into a child's pose. Getting that opposing stretch. Once we bend one way, we want to bend to the other to kind of balance everything out. So let's go into our child's pose to do that. So go ahead and take a big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. All right, let's go ahead and lift our head up. We're going to rock our shoulders forward. We're going to tuck our toes, coming into our first downward dog. And this might be a little tight on the back of your legs, so go ahead and pedal your feet, lifting one heel at a time. Maybe even rolling your toes. My joints always crack when I do this. All right, so let's go ahead and lift our right leg up. It doesn't have to be very high. Keep your toes flexed or point them. Go ahead and bend the knee. And then we're going to rock our shoulders forward, bringing that right knee with us, placing that foot in between our hands. We're going to drop the back knee, coming into a low lunge. So you can stay on your toes or you can untuck them. And then you want to make sure that the front knee is right above that right ankle. So if your knee is too forward or too far back, go ahead and reel it right into the middle. So from here, we're going to let gravity just push our hips down, getting a nice stretch in our inner thigh and our hip area. And we can stay right here. But since this is a heart opening flow, twists are really great for opening your heart. So we're going to come onto our right hand, but we're not going to place all of our body weight on our wrist. That's a lot of strain and pressure on there. So you want to make sure that you're balancing on your legs in the middle, and you are lightly putting your left hand on the ground. So if this is too intense in your hips, you can go ahead and bring that back knee forward a bit to about right here. Or if you want a little deeper stretch, scoot that back knee back. So we'll place our left fingertips on the ground so we're not putting too much weight on our wrist. And with an inhale, we'll float our right arm up towards the sky, getting a nice heart opening twist. Taking a big inhale. And exhale, we'll float that arm down and lifting up the other arm. All right, and down. We're gonna place both hands on the ground, tuck that back foot, lifting up the knee, floating back our right leg into downward dog again, pedaling out the feet. And we're going to switch sides. So go ahead and lift that left leg up towards the sky, bend the knee, rock your shoulders forward, rock that left knee forward, placing your foot in between your hands and dropping the back knee down, keeping the toes tucked or untuck them. It's up to you. And again, letting gravity push your hips down, getting a nice deep stretch. And play around with that back leg. So bring it more forward or scoot it back. Find a happy medium between getting a nice stretch but not overdoing it where you start to injure yourself. All right, so balancing our weight in the middle, we're gonna place our right fingertips on the ground and inhale our left arm up. And exhale, left arm down, right arm comes up and down. Great job. We're gonna tuck our right toes, lifting the back knee, float our left leg back, coming into downward dog. Take a big inhale and exhale. Go ahead and float that right leg up towards the sky again. Bending the knee and then floating that right foot forward. We're gonna pivot our back toes so they are pointing towards the left side of our mat. And with an inhale, we're going to rise up to standing. So now we're in our Warrior One pose, and a couple things with placement that you want to keep in mind. Again, your front knee, you want it right on top of your ankle. So if you notice your knee is too forward or too far back, again, happy medium right in the middle. And if you feel that your hips are, again, this is too deep of a stretch, bring your leg a little bit closer. If you want a deeper stretch, scoot it back a little bit more. All right, our back leg, the toes are pointed towards the left side. The front leg, the knee is right above our ankle. Our shoulders are forward. We're in a Warrior One. We're taking a big inhale here. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and drop our arms. We're going to interlock our fingers behind us. We're going to straighten our arms, pull down, and open our heart up towards the ceiling. Getting a little lean back. Great. And now we're going to come forward. We're going to come into a humble warrior. So we're going to lean forward. Our heart is going to come on the inside of our right leg, and arms come up and over. And you want to make sure you're not resting your weight on your right leg. Great, and inhale, rolling back up. Great job. Arms come up. And exhale, float them down, turning your back toes forward, coming back into your downward dog. Go ahead and pedal your feet out. All right, and let's switch sides. So inhale your left leg up, bend the knee, and float that left foot forward. We're gonna come into our Warrior One on the other side. So lifting our upper body up, turning your back toes towards the right side of your mat, arms come up overhead. Again, play around with your feet positioning and make sure your front knee is right above that ankle. So our arms are relaxed, our shoulders are relaxed, arms are up, palms facing each other. We're taking a big breath in and out. So from here, we'll interlock our hands behind us, straightening out the arms and leaning back. Go ahead and inhale and exhale, fold forward, coming to our humble warrior, arms flowing overhead. And inhale, peel up. Great job. Release your arms, bring them up towards the sky. Exhale, float them on forward, turning your back toes forward and floating that left leg back. And let's come into our child's pose. All right, we have a few more poses for you. So once you're in child's pose, we're going to come back into our downward dog. So your hands are flat on the ground. You're gonna tuck your toes, lifting your hips up towards the sky. And we're going to take a gentle walk up towards the front of the mat. So our feet are hip distance apart. You can do this by placing both hands in fists. Place them in between your feet. That is hips distance. Go ahead and bend your knees as much as you need to. Take a breath here. And with an inhale and a flat back, we're going to rise up towards standing, arms circling up overhead. Palms together, lowering down at your heart center. Taking a breath here. And out. Giving yourself a little bit of love. So for our next heart opener pose, we're going to come into a gentle standing back bend. So we'll inhale our arms up overhead, our palms are together, and we'll start to lean our hips forward and at the same time lean our shoulders back. And you can drop your head back. And come back towards center, arms down. And we'll do that one more time. So take a big inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. And I apologize for any noise. I do live on a busy street and there's cars, it's a part of it. All right, so inhale up again. And exhale, hips forward, shoulders back, dropping the head. And coming back up towards center. All right, for our next one, we're going to do a forward fold with our arms bound together. So again, you want your feet hips distance apart, and you can have a little bend to your knees if you'd like. We're going to interlock our fingers with our arms straight, and we're going to take an inhale. And with an exhale, we're going to hinge at the waist with a flat back, leaning forward. And once you feel a nice stretch in the back of your legs, you can release your head and release your shoulders forward, or release your arms forward. And if you want more of a forward fold, go ahead and keep releasing your upper body down, getting a nice stretch in the back of your legs. And you can bend your knees if you'd like, resting your upper body on your thighs. You want to have your palms together, arms are straight. Take an inhale. And exhale. We're going to go ahead and release our arms down. Take an inhale, lift up halfway with a flat back. Exhale down. And go ahead and drop your hips down towards the ground and come onto your bottom. So we're going to do a couple rock and rolls. I don't even know if this is the proper name for it, but when I taught gymnastics, this is what the kids I taught called it. So we're going to do a rock and roll. We're going to put our hands underneath our thighs and facing forward. We're gently lifting up and rocking back and lifting up, rocking and rolling. I love this. It's a little massage on your spine. All right, and the next time that you are down, you're going to keep your spine on the ground, releasing your feet. All right, so the next pose we're going to come into is a bridge pose. Now there's a couple options for you. If you have noticed this block that's been next to me the whole time, we will use it now. You're going to lift your hips up, straight up, and you're going to place the block right underneath the bottom of your spine where your hips are. And you can stay right here with your arms extended nice and long. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. You can even extend your legs nice and long. And you can use the block on 3 different sides. So the long one would be height 1. On the skinny side will be height 2. And on the shortest side will be height 3. So you really need to lift your hips up to get onto here, but this is a great hip opener and a back stretch for your spine. Now, if you don't have a block or you don't feel like using one, that's perfectly fine too. There's a couple options as well. So from here, again, your feet are flat on the ground, knees are pointed up towards the sky. Imagine someone placed a towel or a plank of wood underneath your hips and they lifted it straight up. That's how you're going to lift your hips. The first variation in a bridge pose without the block, you're gonna take your hands and interlock them underneath your back with the straight arms, and then you're gonna shimmy your shoulders, lifting your hips up even more. So you could stay here. This is a great heart opener, taking a deep breath. So you can stay here for a few breaths, or you can lower down and lift back up. Or another variation is coming into your full wheel pose. So for that, this one is more of an advanced pose. You definitely want to have some practice doing this before. You're going to place your hands flat on the ground, fingertips pointed towards your body or the front of the mat. And with an inhale, you're going to lift your hips up, lifting your belly, and then lifting your shoulders. This is probably the most intense heart opener we've done today, and very similar to the bow pose, just of course in the opposite direction. So taking a breath here, and exhale, lowering down from whichever variation you chose to enjoy today. So from here, whatever bridge or wheel pose you're in, we're gonna go into that rock and roll pose, again getting a counterbalance stretch. So your knees or your thighs and knees are in towards your chest, and rocking up, really arching or curving your spine here, lowering down. Coming back up and down. And one more time. All right, so we are on to our final pose of today's practice. So from here, we're gonna extend our arms out nice and long on the ground in a T. Feel free to close your eyes here. And we're gonna windshield wiper our knees side to side. So bring them down to the right, then down to the left. All right, and the next time they're down on the right side, we're gonna leave our legs there. Now you can stay right here, or you can drop your head over to the left side. Slowing down our breathing, connecting to our breath and our heartbeat. And since we are coming towards the end of today's practice, now is a wonderful time to pick out some affirmations for the day ahead of you. Go ahead and lift your knees up towards center, lowering them down to the left, bringing your head to the right. So finding whatever you need gentle reminders of, and repeating them to yourself. All right, and we'll bring our head and knees back up towards center. We're gonna rock and roll up one more time. And we'll face center. All right, so once you're sitting up, we'll place our palms together at our heart center. Closing our eyes, take a deep breath in through our nose. And a big exhale through our mouth. Taking those deep breaths a few more times. And with each exhale, releasing whatever it is you wish to no longer hold on to. And making room for love, patience, humility, gratitude, and all the things that you wish to have space for in your heart. And hopefully these poses helped make some space. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel that your heart has opened a little bit more. The deepest gratitude from me to you. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys again soon.